All right. Test. 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 We are live. Audio on. Video on. Okay. So, we are live. I can see comments. I'm going to let people gather until about 8:30, and then we're going to get going here. Probably going to be a shorter stream than yesterday by a good deal, but we're going to talk about it. So, everyone just kind of pile up questions in the chat if you want to. Say what you want to say, and I'm just going to sit here for a couple minutes so people can gather up. All right. Okay, we're going to get ramped up here in about 2 minutes. And we'll talk about it. But, to give you guys a little bit of a teaser, I am pretty okay with things so far. I'm not happy. Happy's not the right word, but I think everything is going fine so far. And, if I need to convince people of why things are okay, then so be it. Okay, we're going to get started in about a minute and a half here. Looks like we got close to 20 people in here right now. That's pretty good. Sorry, the stream is starting late. The guy who was painting my room just left. I didn't want to start when he was here. So we're just getting going a little late tonight. Tomorrow we will start the all-day stream stuff, so keep an eye out for that. Well, I mean, I should be starting at about 1 o'clock. A little before, and then we'll go with it. All right, 30 seconds, and then we're going to go ahead and get going here. I see all the comments, but I'm not going to be addressing the comments for a little bit. I need to get through my thoughts on today to acclimate everybody to how I'm feeling. And we'll try to address some comments later. If you have something that you really want to be read and addressed, then you can super chat it. And yeah, that's basically how we're going to do things. Chrissy, it's way past 3:30 where I am, so I don't know. In order to get a Poona emoji, we're going to have to get way more members. We're going to have to get a lot more members. Okay, so day 2 of legal tampering is effectively over. There could be 1 or 2 more things, I guess. But day 2 of tampering is over, and today we actually did a few things. Now, we didn't do as much as some people might have liked. We didn't hit any home runs. We didn't even try to hit a home run. But we did do a couple of things. So let's kind of go chronologically through the day, because there were 4 big things that happened today for me. 4 big things that happened. 1, the first thing was the Raiders released Rodney Hudson. And Rodney Hudson is a really good center who's been excellent through his career. He's going to be 32 years old. He's had a relatively healthy career. Yeah, Chrissy, it's going to be an all-day stream. Immediately, most Seahawks fans started going, hey, I want that guy. I want Rodney Hudson as a Seahawk in 2021. I want to give him like a 3-year deal, maybe 25 to 30 million. Maybe it'll be less, who knows? He is a veteran in a year where there's not a lot of cap to go around. And a lot of people immediately got excited over Rodney Hudson. And I want to tell you, I'm one of those people. I'm not here to tell you that Rodney Hudson is actually bad and we don't want him. No, I'm here to tell you that he's good and it makes a lot of sense why we would want him. So Rodney Hudson became available. Another center, and I want to make one thing abundantly clear, and I want everybody in stream to listen to what I'm about to say. This is important. This is a buyer's market for centers. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is a buyer's market. There are 4 high-quality centers available in free agency right now, and there are 3 viable options. We have Ted Karras, Austin Ryder. We have now Rodney Hudson and David Andrews. This is a buyer's market. Okay? One of those 4 guys is going to slip through a little bit and take less than he was expecting in all likelihood. As of right now, this is a buyer's market for centers. So if you're sitting there wondering why we haven't already signed a center, every day we wait to sign a center means less money that we have to spend on that center. The more the center that we sign has to bring their offer down. So right now, while players are still asking for the moon, you might not see the Seahawks sign some of these big name guys. You're going to wait. And those offers, those asks are going to come down. And then we can swoop in and get a better deal. So if you're wondering why we didn't sign a center today, I know a lot of people were getting anxious about that, and I understand. But I think the important thing to remember right now is if one center gets picked up, there are others out there that you can get who are about as good. I'll tell you this right now, those 4 guys, you could put them all in a paper bag and I could just reach in and grab one. I'm going to feel okay about whoever I pull out of that bag. And then you have guys like Austin Blythe, Alex Mack, and Ethan Posick who might be workable. So wait for the center stuff. Get pissed off after everybody good gets signed. Don't get pissed off now when today, I don't think any of the big centers got signed, and in fact, one of them got released. So everyone sit tight on that. Okay, the second big thing that happened today was Shaquille Griffin signed a $45 million contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars. $44 to $45 million. And I was pretty happy. I don't want to say happy. Happy is not the right word, but I was pretty satisfied with that because Shaq he's not a bad player. He's a good player, but I didn't believe he was worth that much money at all. And I also believe that when you have a coach like Pete Carroll, you need to be willing to not spend the big money at cornerback unless you're talking about a generational guy. Richard Sherman was probably the best cornerback of his era. I'm okay with paying big money for him in his prime. Not okay with spending that kind of money on Shaq Griffin, who is good, but he's just good. He's not great. He's not elite. He had a very shaky contract year, which really kind of puts me off of him because you would think that would be him putting his best foot forward. Yeah. Okay, so Shaq Griffin gone. I was good with it. All right. Now we get to the things that we actually did. Well, okay. There was one other thing that actually happened today. A fifth thing that I do want to throw in there. The fifth thing I want to put out there, I guess, would be the Russell Wilson thing. Russell Wilson signed, the team decided that Russell Wilson was not going to be traded. They came out and basically said, we're not going to trade him. And I already made a video discussing that. We can discuss that some more in the stream if you would like to. But I don't feel like anybody here should be too surprised by that. It's predictable. So let's get to the stuff that just happened in the last few hours. And I already spoke a little bit about this, but we signed a player and we retained a player. So the player we signed was Ahkello Witherspoon of the San Francisco 49ers. He was there for 4 years, and now he's here. 1 year, $4 million. And I went over a lot of corners that I was kind of interested in previous streams. Ahkello Witherspoon was not on the list. And the reason why is because I've seen Witherspoon be good, but I've also seen him be, well, bad. It's actually very interesting. Week 17 of 2019, I saw Ahkello Witherspoon play so bad against DK Metcalf that he got benched. That game that we lost by half a yard. I saw him get tortured. And then last year, week 17, against the 49ers, he played really well and actually locked up DK Metcalf and was part of the reason why the Niners came close to winning that game. So we've seen in just the last year plus the good Witherspoon and the bad Witherspoon. And that kind of summarizes his career. There have been games where he's been very good, and there have been games where he's been very bad. And because he is sometimes very bad, he has gotten benched many times. But, and I want to reiterate this, with Ahkello Witherspoon, we are not getting a player who is just bad. We are getting a player who is very inconsistent. And you would hope that somebody like Pete Carroll could at least bring out the best in him, even if his best is not the greatest cornerback in the league. You would hope that he could bring out the best stuff in him. So my take on that signing is that this is the kind of stuff I want this team to do. This is the kind of stuff that I want this team to do. You have Pete Carroll, so go super cheap at cornerback. Go get guys who got kicked off of other teams. Go get guys who got, who are considered to be, early round disappointments. Get them cheap and tell Carroll to coach him up, because that's what he does. That's what he's supposed to be good at. If he's not good at that anymore, I don't want him as the coach. So that's exactly what I wanted this team to do. And they did it. We have a lot of money invested at quarterback. We have a lot of money invested at middle linebacker. We're about to have a lot of money invested at safety and wide receiver. Cornerback is an area where we need to be cheap. And I think Witherspoon, if he develops, can be a good starting cornerback in our system with a good pass rush, which we'll be addressing a little later. So I'm pretty good with this. I'm not jumping up and down in my chair. Obviously, there's nothing to be excited about when it comes to a guy like Witherspoon. Yeah, I think it's a reasonable bet. I know some people were disappointed we didn't get William Jackson, but my question would be, what did William Jackson get? Because I think he just signed, and we don't know what his contract is with the football team. But I believe it was a contract that was probably out of our range, unfortunately. He ended up going for a lot more than I was initially predicting. So, Ahkello Witherspoon, I don't know if it's going to work out or not. I don't have a lot of confidence that it's going to work out. I don't have a lot of confidence that it won't work out. But I do know this is the kind of stuff that this team needs to do. Get cornerbacks who are cheaper and tell Carroll to figure it out. Yeah, William Jackson got $14 million a year. We can't afford that. Sorry, guys. Can't afford it. So, that was the third interesting thing that really happened today. The fourth and final thing was we re-signed Poona Ford. And I'm going to say this right now. I know some people disagree with me. Poona Ford, I thought was going to be $8 million, $9 million, maybe $10 million a year. We got him for $7 million, not even $7 million. And only $4 million this first year. So we used our leverage on Poona Ford well. Or he's not as good as I think he is. One of the two. But, yeah. So, well, okay. I actually meant to tab over appropriately as I was talking about each thing. But yeah, okay. So Poona Ford, 2-year deal with the Seahawks, worth up to about 13.5 million, 8 million guaranteed, I think. So I was very happy with this. We're spending a little more money than we would have if we had just tagged him, but at the same time, we now have extra ability to keep him around after this season. So, in a vacuum, I am pretty happy about the Poona Ford thing. I thought he was going to be more expensive than this. I thought Poona was at least 8 million a year. We got him for less than that, so I like that. So that sums it up. So today we did two things that I thought were fine. I mean, Poona, re-signing Poona was definitely really good. Um, Y2K, I'm not sure what you're trying to say there, dude. Um, I don't know, Chaotic. Kevin King might be a little expensive too. Okay, so anyway, those were the four things that happened today. There were a few other interesting things that went down, but we're going to scroll through Adam Schefter's Twitter feed real quick. And I didn't really see too many players get signed today that I was overly interested in. Yeah, we can still restructure players at any time. So if we need more money, we can create it. So let's take a look at Schefter's Twitter feed today. Hunter Henry signed with the Patriots. Some people were interested in Hunter, but I kind of wasn't. I thought he was a little too expensive and probably a little too injury prone. So let's see here. What else happened? Saints released linebacker Quan Alexander, not interested. Panthers signed some tight end named Manhurts that I've never heard of before. Ravens brought back Tyus Bowser to a water pump. 1 second, guys. 4 years, 22 million. Not interested there. Of course, the Shaq Griffin thing, which we already knew. Shaquem Griffin, which kind of comes with it. Cowboys, CJ Goodwin, 2 years, 3.5 million. Not on my radar. Let's see here. What else? Tack McKinley, 4.25 million. This was actually interesting because I didn't think Tack was going to be this cheap, but he's also not that good, so whatever. Ty Nizeski, who I got 1 year in Madden Summer Sim, was signed by the Cowboys, was not on my radar. Leonard Williams got his 3-year, $63 million deal, not interested. He doesn't really fit in a 4-3 defense. He's a really good player, though. Bears, thinking about trading Anthony Miller. That's actually a little interesting, but I doubt it. Let's see. Vince Williams was released by the Steelers, not interested in him. Andy Dalton signed with the Bears, obviously not interested there, which would, by the way, that was one of the things that obviously closed the door on Wilson being traded. Tyrod Taylor signed with the Texans, obviously no interest. Jacoby Brissett signed. Okay, here's the one thing that happened today that kind of made me think. Jaguars gave Lions wide receiver Marvin Jones 2 years, $14.5 million. That's not bad. Marvin Jones is a nice receiver. If we had traded Lockett, I would have strongly considered bringing in Marvin Jones as a replacement because this would not have been prohibitively expensive. This probably gives him like $5 million that first year. That's a big step in the right direction from Lockett's massive amount of money. All right, so Jacoby Brissett, obviously. Saints signed Janoris Jenkins, no interest there personally. Kelvin Beachum, Cardinals, not interested. And then we have the Poona Ford stuff. Last thing that happened... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Bills traded Lee Smith to the Falcons. I don't know who that is. Jermaine Ifedi got a little bit of a bag, so good for him. He got $5 million from the Bears. Good for him, I guess. Let's see here. The Buffalo Bills signed Emmanuel Sanders for $6 million, which is... I guess it would have been a little interesting if we had traded Lockett, but not really interested. And here's the William Jackson deal. And yeah, that's it for Schefter's Twitter. Oh, here's the Deshaun Watson thing. Wow, okay, it's real. Ryguy, thank you for the $2. I think I'm content with today. Yes, Costa Rican sports fan. RFAs count against the cap. So, correct me if I'm wrong here. Did a single high-profile offensive lineman get signed today? I saw some bottom-rung guys like Tyler Nishke and Kevin Beachum, but I didn't see any big-name offensive linemen get signed today. So, here's my thing. I know some people are getting anxious and impatient. I'm getting a lot of questions like, are you disappointed we didn't sign a center? Here's my thing, guys. Those centers that you want, those guards that you want, they're still there. They're not getting taken off the board. So, to me, I don't think there's anything to get upset about. Yeah, so, yeah, we didn't sign any big OL players, but those OL players are still there. So that's my thing. Like, the longer we wait, the more these guys are going to decrease their asking price in all likelihood, because they're going to realize the market was not quite what they were thinking, maybe. Like, I said this at the start of the stream, I'll say it again. 4 really good centers are still free agents. It's a buyer's market. Why overpay for one of them when you could just wait it out a little bit and pay a lot less for one of them? All right, so those are my thoughts on that. As for what we did get, I'm going to reiterate, the Ahkello Witherspoon contract. I'm not saying I think it's going to be great. I'm not saying I think it's going to suck. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm not saying that this guy is going to work out or not. What I am saying is this is the kind of stuff you have to do when you have Pete Carroll and you have a lot of high-paid players. Y2K, Deshaun Watson is getting accused of sexual assault. Just happened, I guess. So, if you want a center, I am telling you, the play is to wait and then get pissed off if, and only if, we let everybody get signed by somebody else. Because there are too many good centers out there for us to be tripping because we missed out on 1 or even 2. Ryder, Hudson, Karras, and Andrews. And but yeah, anyway, cornerback, Ahkello Witherspoon, good, bad, different, indifferent. This is the kind of stuff you want to do when you have a guy like a Pete Carroll. Go get cheap corners, tell him to figure it out. As for anything else that happened today, basically there were 2 other things that are kind of just garbage right now until something confirms them, but 2 things. And now I'm going to get irritated. Number 1, apparently we are reasonably close to bringing back KJ Wright. And number 2, we are reasonably close to bringing in Leonard Fournette. Okay. I don't know which would make me angrier. I don't know which one would piss me off more, but they would piss me off. Okay. Let me reiterate my position here. We have, 17 million on the books for Bobby Wagner in 2021. That's one linebacker. We have a first-round pick invested at linebacker. We have a 3rd round and a 4th round pick invested at linebacker. At what point are we going to say, we can't put any more assets into linebacker. We need to let KJ go. If we bring back KJ Wright, I don't care if it's for the veteran minimum. I'm not going to be happy. I don't know. In order for me to be okay with taking back KJ Wright, he would probably pretty much have to be willing to play for free. That's my position on this. The only way I'll take back KJ Wright is if he waives his salary and plays for a hot dog. So, if you guys want to see me mad, see me after we bring back KJ. Jordan Brooks needs to be thrown into the deep end. Cody Barton needs a chance to prove himself. Maybe BBK needs a chance to prove himself. And Leonard Fournette, I'm going to make this really, really simple. Leonard Fournette sucks. People keep trying to tell me that dude is good. He sucks. Leonard Fournette is like Trent Richardson, but I don't know. More, I don't know. Okay, I'm getting some indications in the chat that one of my favorites, Jamal Williams, was signed by the Lions. Schefter is not reporting anything, so I'm going to start ignoring these comments. I'm not seeing anything on Schefter's Twitter, guys, so I'm a little confused. This is Schefter's Twitter, is it not? Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Tom Pelissero, okay. Tom Pelissero. Okay, so, 2 years, $7.5 million. That's kind of close to what I thought he was going to get. It's a little more. Maybe it was a little too much for us, but I would have liked to have done that. I know we need a running. Unfortunately, I think that our interest in Fournette kind of gave up the ghost, that we weren't that interested in Jamal Williams. But let me put this out there right now. Fournette is a terrible football player, and I don't want him anywhere near this team. I wouldn't even give him the veteran minimum. I have no interest in that guy, and you know he's going to demand way too much money because he just had a couple good games in the playoffs. So, yeah, if you guys want to see me mad, see me after we sign one of those two guys, KJ or Leonard Fournette. I could not possibly have less interest in two guys than I do those two. So, that's really all I have to say about all this. We got 80 people in here. I want to thank everybody for coming out to the stream tonight. 80 people. Please like the stream if you haven't yet. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. I upload pretty much every day. Become a member down below by clicking the join button if you want to support the channel additionally. And, of course, donations are always appreciated to help keep the channel running. Oh, yeah, Green Earth. If we decide we'd rather have KJ Wright than Carlos Dunlap or some nonsense like that, I'm going to get irritated very quickly if this stuff if this stuff starts to go down. We have 94 people in here all of a sudden, by the way. Yeah, I want to say this. I understand that we don't want to spend a lot of money on a backup running back, but I did really like Jamal Williams, and I sure as hell don't like Leonard Fournette. And by the way, Leonard Fournette, I don't even know if he fits Shane Waldron's offense. I look at Leonard Fournette and I see a power back. I don't see the kind of running back that I think Shane Waldron wants. So if I were to take a guess, I would say that getting Fournette would be a Pete Carroll decision, not a Shane Waldron decision, which makes me dislike it even more. Okay, so I think that's about it in terms of stuff that happened. So I'll try to filter through some questions. A lot of the questions or comments I'm being asked to address are kind of just me reiterating what I already said in this stream. So I'll get to what I can, but I feel like I've done a pretty good job explaining how I feel right now. This has the opportunity to go south quickly, I think. The Fournette news is very bad. The KJ Wright news is very bad. The fact that we missed out on Jamal Williams is tragic, although I'm not going to act like that's a deal breaker. Alex, I think we will restructure Wilson and Bobby if we need to. And by the way, if we honestly think that it's the right move to bring back KJ Wright instead of a guy like Carlos Dunlap, then I really don't freaking get it whatsoever. Leonard Fournette, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Leonard Fournette is basically Eddie George. He has these games where he runs for like 2.3 yards a carry, and then everyone thinks he had a good game because he's so tough, and he runs people over. And it's like, get out of here. Get out of here. There's nothing useful about running for 2.9 yards a carry. There are other things, Green Earth. There are other pass rushers, but they're coming off the board quickly. But yes, if we get Fournette, I'm going to turn sour quickly. If we re-sign KJ, I'm going to turn sour quickly. Ian Mills, at this point, the running back that I would kind of like to bring in would be Matt Breida. Or maybe somebody like... I don't want to bring in a rookie. Well, I do want to bring in a rookie, but I don't want that guy to be the guy. I don't want a rookie to be our designated backup necessarily. I don't want to put that much on one guy. I want to get a cheap veteran who I know can be competent. Isn't Justin Houston like 85 years old or something? Kenyon Drake's going to be too expensive. Trey Sermon. Yeah, Trey Sermon's another name. Trey Sermon, Michael Carter. I remember looking at both those guys in the draft. I was kind of intrigued. Gallman. Yeah, that's another one. $56 Coltrane. Come on, guys. How do you guys not know this stuff? I go over this stuff like every day. You guys don't do your homework. Rex Burkhead. Yeah, that's another one. Is Antonio Gibson a free agent? I didn't think he was. Marlon Mack. Not a horrible idea. It depends on price, though. Oh, yeah. If you guys want to see me get mad at something else, bring back Richard Sherman. Yeah, I'm going to get kind of mad about that, too, especially if he costs what I think he will cost. That's a valid point, you Week 2K. We could just go rookie running back. I guess. My problem is I don't trust Penny, although I'm willing to give him a chance. And if Penny doesn't pan out, I want a verifiable commodity ready to go. I don't want a rookie who may or may not be anything. That's my thing. Okay, Nicholas, yeah. But, yeah, the two things that the Seahawks actually did today were fine. Witherspoon is fine. We got him for a reasonable price with very little risk. Re-signing Poona to a 2-year decent deal is fine. Is actually better than fine. It's very good. But I think that we now need to focus in on making sure we use our remaining cap room wisely. Yeah, you Week 2K, they're not ready to be a lead back, but you could maybe tandem them up with a rookie in case something happens with Penny. I don't know. I want a little bit of... I want a sure thing in our backfield right now, and I don't feel like we have it. I like Chuba Hubbard. I like Trey Sermon, but my concern would just be, well, what if they're just nothing as rookies? It does happen sometimes. So I want somebody who we know can be serviceable. Like Carlos Hyde would have been fine, but now we need to go get another version of a Carlos Hyde. And there are plenty of guys you can go get. You just have to go get them. By the way, I am hearing some murmurs that Chris Carson may return just because the offers are not there for him the way he was kind of hoping for. So, I think that kind of captures everything that I want to say. I'm not upset yet. The players that went off the board today were players that I had very little interest in, or none at all in many cases. I do not want Carson, but if he's really cheap, then I guess so be it. I just don't think he fits. I want if he's like, I don't know, nobody offers him shiz, then okay, I guess. Would I rather re-sign KJ or Lenny? I don't know. I don't know, Silver Ace. Okay. On the one hand, we need a running back and we don't need a linebacker. On the other hand, KJ is actually good, and Leonard Fournette is trash. So, 1 o'clock, J.A. Bricks. 1 o'clock PST. Chrissy. I don't think Carson fits our offense. I don't think Carson fits the offense. Eric, I think we're still trying to bring back Dunlap. Yeah, you weak 2K. Damian Williams is actually pretty decent. That's the kind of guy I kind of want. I want somebody who I can depend on to be okay. Malcolm Brown, I don't think is very good. Corey Clement, maybe. Maybe Corey Clement, but Malcolm Brown, I don't know. Yeah, if we re-sign KJ, I'm going to be mad. But, so, 2 days of quote-unquote free agency, which is not really free agency, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Whatever. And, we haven't done a lot, but I think things are going reasonably well so far. I'm not worried or concerned about anything yet. There are a lot of good players still out there. I'm sad that Jamal Williams went off the board. He was one of my favorite targets, but Jamal Williams is a replaceable commodity. He's a backup running back. There are backup running backs are pretty easy to come across in the NFL. We just have to bring in one. Silver Ace, if Jordan Brooks is absolutely garbage, then fire Schneider and Carroll because they drafted him. Okay? Like, at a certain point, you need to start holding these people accountable. You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, Rashad Penny, bust. LJ Collier, disappointment at best. And then you're saying Jordan Brooks is a bust. And then you had the Malik McDowell nonsense and Jermaine Ifedi. How many busts are you going to take in a row before you realize, you know what? You don't know how to scout talent anymore. Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. Yeah, that's what I want to do, Chrissy, more or less. Just give me a cheap veteran running back who I know is okay. Give me a rookie, and we'll go from there. That's what I want to do. HB, I think Blair will probably be nickel next year, yeah. So, the last guy on my most optimal wish list is Gerald Everett, and I will say this. At this point, if we don't get Gerald Everett, I'm not really liking any of the remaining tight ends. Pete and John are basically untouchable in the Seahawks organization. Yeah, Dime, but I'm saying they shouldn't be. I'm saying that they shouldn't be untouchable if they can't start drafting better. They haven't had a good draft in like 8 years. I think Clowney might be worth it for a very, very cheap price, but we can't expect him to do anything. I think Amadi played pretty well last year, actually. I like Amadi. All right, so let's see here. Has Schefter tweeted anything new? Schefter might be asleep tonight, or I don't know. Schefter still hasn't reported Jamal Williams, which is weird, but whatever. Yeah, if Ertz gets cut, he could be out there, but I kind of like Gerald Everett more, as weird as that is. Jamal Williams went to Detroit. Philip Lindsay is not a free agent. No, Julian. But Gabe Jackson is good if we don't plan on drafting a guard. But I really want to draft a guard, so I'm not really on the Gabe Jackson thing right now. I want to sign a center, draft a guard. If we want to go the other way around, that's fine, and Gabe Jackson would be good. Green Earth, I don't think Ertz will be that expensive. We can backload the contract, so yeah. Yeah, Kyle Rudolph is out there, but to me, I don't know if Kyle Rudolph in 2021 is going to be much better than Will Dissly. What's the damn difference? No, should have to hold it. Okay. 100 people in the stream, by the way, guys. 100 people. Thank you to everybody for coming out tonight. Please like the stream, subscribe, become a member, donate, do all the things you got to do to support the channel, my little minions. I feed off your likes. Keep clicking the like button so that I can become strong and consume the world. Yeah, Gerald Everett is kind of the guy that I'm into, but the thing is, the thing for me is that, and I said this yesterday, I'll say it again, this is not about putting your sights on one specific player and getting pissed off if you don't get that exact player. Okay, this is about recognizing what you need and making a list of players that you would be happy with. So, yeah, I wanted Jamal Williams. It sucks we didn't get him, but there are other backup running backs we can get. I wanted to get Corey Linsley, but there are a ton of other centers we can get. And let me reiterate, buyer's market for center right now. There are 4 high-quality centers still out there, and there are 3 decent plan Bs. Why go overpay for a center when you can just hold out a little bit and get somebody who is really good at a cheaper price? And by the way, the fact that we kind of committed to Wilson today means that if we need to, we're probably going to restructure him any moment now. If we need to restructure him, it's just a matter of clicking a button. So, I think that's about all I can say. I'm going to start addressing questions. Okay, so I'm going to try to address as many questions as we can, but we have a lot of people in the chat tonight. Okay, Everett and Tommy Tremble, because we must get good at the tight end for this O to work best. Yeah, Everett's my guy. There aren't a ton of guys in the draft I was super into, but there might be some interesting prospects later on. I mean, Dissly looked like he was going to be really good for a couple years, and we got him in the 5th round, so stuff happens, certainly. Dissly and Parkinson aren't good enough. Yeah, I think Dissly's a tight end 2, and Parkinson's a good tight end 3 right now. That's really all I think we have. If Pete signed Lynch to be the running back 1, would you be mad? No, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be able to take it seriously. Like that's a joke. I would find it funny. J.A. Bricks, I want the Packers to get Hudson. I think a lot of people want to get Hudson, but there are a lot of good centers out there, so it's pretty manageable. I do still want to see Colby Parkinson. I do too, but he hasn't even had a real offseason yet, so I don't know if we can depend on him for anything yet. Are there any backup swing tackles you want? Yeah, there are a couple, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I used to watch your streams a lot, Brendon, but I kind of stopped watching. I don't know why. Well, people come back on and off all the time. Don't worry about it. Do you think the Patriots will make the playoffs in 2021? No, because they don't have a quarterback yet, I don't think. Yeah, we need a backup tackle with Dwayne Brown's age. We might just make it Cedric O, which is, well, whatever, but not great, but, you know, it could just be Cedric Ogbuhi. Yeboah from Ole Miss. Yeah, Yeboah was one guy I kind of looked at a little bit. Yeah, Long from BC is a good tight end. Also, there's been no woman coming. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really going to address the Watson stuff right now because it's not relevant to this discussion. Dracu, did we really use the tight ends as much last season? Yeah, we didn't, but we have a new offensive coordinator who will probably want to use our tight ends. I really like Carson as a fourth quarter plug and chug guy to close out games. I know he's probably out of our price range, but I still like the guy. Yeah, I like the guy too, but he's a broken down running back at this point. Play Colby like Graham. Graham dropped a ton of balls. Colby doesn't drop anything. Well, Graham dropped a lot of balls his final season here. Before then, he was fine. But yeah, Colby has a place in the NFL, I think. I don't know if we're going to see it yet. I know Pat signed Cam Newton again. Cam Newton sucks. If we were to pursue Rodney Hudson, do you think we'd have to offer him near the $11 million APY? No, I think we would get him for less, Brady Hill. I think we could get him for less. Rams are trading Michael Brockers to the Lions. Wow, okay, that's relevant. No prospect later on are good move TE. We need to maximize our draft picks and the positions where we can get closest to top 5 is running back and tight end, which we both need. Yeah, I think that's a fair way to look at things. Do you think the Seahawks sign a number 3 receiver in free agency? I don't know anymore. I don't know who's available. Brockers. Yeah, there are a lot of cornerbacks I like in this draft, Michael. I completely agree with you. There are a lot of corners I would like in the 3rd round, or even the 4th, honestly. Okay, so it looks like Michael Brockers is out of LA. Is that right? Brady's restructure only counts $9 million versus cap for $1. Yeah, something like that, Brent. Something like that. The thing is, Tampa Bay is mortgaging the future because they know they can win a Super Bowl now because they just did win a Super Bowl. So, you know, they've got that on their mind. And we, for some reason, aren't willing to make that commitment yet. What's up with Detroit? Well, they just hired a new coach. They have a lot of cap room. I'll say this. They don't really have a quarterback right now unless they really like Jared Goff, so I don't know about all these signings. I think that's a little questionable. Silver Ace, that's the wrong way. Okay, kind of, I agree with you, Silver Ace, but I think you're looking at it in the wrong way. Okay? If we don't know how to draft in the first round, the solution is not trade all your first round picks. The solution is fire your GM and coach. I think Ben Cleveland could go in the 3rd round, Green Earth, but it's really hard to have a concrete idea. I think that what you want to do is wait for the draft, see how the guards are getting drafted, and make assumptions based off what you see in terms of how early the guards are going. Do you want David Moore back? I kind of do. I'm not married to it, but I like it. Yeah, Pro-Dacian, but Yeboah is not a good... Yeah, I think, you know, Brady winning a Super Bowl probably did make Bill really want to prove something. Yeboah, not a good blocker, just a slot TE. Long is a good blocker, but has limited mobility. We need a Kittle Kelsey type. Tremble and Brevin Jordan the best at that. I think Brevin Jordan's going to be pretty high pick, right? Isn't Brevin Jordan like a 2nd rounder? I know Tremble isn't, but I was under the impression that Brevin Jordan would go a little too high for us to realistically draft. We will get a compensation pick for Shaq, but not this year. Alan Lazard from Green Bay, I mean, if he's cheap, okay, but I truly don't think he's anything more than replacement level. I think we get a 3rd round pick for Shaq, if I'm not mistaken, but either way, that's pretty good. Okay, 10 minutes left in this stream, guys. 10 minutes left. I know there are over 100 people in here. I'd like to stay a little longer, but I'm tired, and I have a long day ahead of me tomorrow streaming for you guys. Yes, Costa Rican, it's $4 million. 1 year, $4 million. Yeah, I saw the Affetti thing. My thing is... Silver Ace, I would guess something like 3 years, $24 million. Brevin, Jordan, and Tremble will go off the board in the 2nd or 3rd round. I feel like that's a little out of our range. John Brown is a good receiver, wide receiver 3. That's not bad. This team has pretty good success getting good receivers without using big-time assets, though. So maybe you do look at that in the draft. Chrissy, Wyatt Davis. 24-hour streamed an hour. It's not going to be 24 hours, but it's going to be for a huge chunk of the day. Okay. So, yeah, 9 minutes left, and then I'm going to get out of here. Well, Brent, Russ's cap hit can be taken down to like 20 million less at any time. The Seahawks just have to push a button. They haven't pushed it yet because they feel like they don't need to yet. But if the Seahawks need to do that, they can do it. I think they're a little hesitant because they're not confident that they're going to want him around for another 3 years, but they can do it. This is not a Wilson thing. This is a team thing. So, you know, I'm not, I'm not seeing it that way. Green Earth, yeah, Swain's pretty good. I don't know if he's ready for the number receiver 3 role, but Freddie Swain's not a terrible idea. I could kind of get behind that, but I just feel like he's not ready yet. I feel like one more year as a 4th receiver would be good for him. I don't know. But the reality is, guys, the longer you wait, the less you pay. And while that often means you get less players, that also means that some really good players or some really valuable players slip through the cracks. You have to be willing to be a little patient. And look, I'm sure the Patriots are going to be very happy with Jonnu Smith. But he did probably get overpaid a little bit in terms of pure value. So yeah, just give it some time. It might take a week. It might take more. There are good centers out there, and we can get them. We even have some viable break glass in case of emergency options, you know. Alex Mack would not be that bad for one more year. I know some people don't want to hear it. Alex Mack is still a decent center. Austin Blythe is cheap and would probably be a viable center. He's a decent break glass in case of emergency option. Even Ethan Posick is not that bad. I mean, people like to hate on the guy a little bit, but I don't think he's that bad. I like some of that stuff, eWeek 2K. I think that's a viable path forward. My issue with that is, what do we do at guard? Yeah, Rasheem Green might flash. Yeah, Dracu, I'm going to do mock draft stuff just like I did last year. I did mock draft stuff last year. And, yeah, I will do that again this time. But the thing is, doing a mock draft right now is a little silly when we don't know what we're going to do in free agency. Like, what if we sign another big corner? Then maybe we don't draft a corner. Alex, you know, I honestly think our offensive line last year was pretty okay. I don't think it's as bad as Wilson would want you to believe. I think Wilson was a big part of the problem there. I think Rodney Hudson would be like 3 years, $24 million. I don't know, Caleb. That's really hard to guess because he hasn't done anything yet. Yeah, David Andrews could be in the 7 to 8 million range as well. But that's kind of my point, guys. There are a lot of good options out there. And if you don't get a good option, there are still okay options. Draft plan is based on addressing the offensive line in free agency. Yeah, I think we'll address some of the offensive line. I don't think we're going to do all of it, though. Oh, yeah. Mitchell Schwartz is still out there for anybody who wants to upgrade from Shell. I kind of don't, but I know some people do. Rory, we're paying Ahkello $4 million. 1 year, $4 million. Yeah, Green Earth. And even if we didn't have enough money for a center and a tight end, we could make enough money for a center and a tight end. Grade the Hawks free agency so far. I mean, that's kind of loaded. I can't do that. Hey, John Harper, welcome. Oh, I remember you, John Harper. You were a member for a little bit. I remember. The offensive line was okay. Do you have cough syrup in that glass? I'm sorry, but we were one of 2 or 3 teams in the league that had 2 tackles who were top 10 in pass block efficiency. Posick had a really good first half of the season, and then he sucked in the second half. Damian Lewis was one of the best rookie offensive linemen in the league. Like, sorry, I'm just not seeing it. I see Wilson taking a lot of sacks he doesn't need to be taking. So I'm not believing our offensive line is just some atrocious thing. Like, Dwayne Brown is still elite. Damian Lewis was a really nice rookie and played pretty effectively. Brandon Shell was okay. Yeah, Upati was good whenever he played, which was not often. Yeah, Jordan Brooks sucked and Posick was mediocre, but I don't think this offensive line was that bad. I think play calling hurt them, and I think Wilson being a freaking statue in the pocket hurt. I'm disappointed in that one, Ryan. Yeah, I don't know. I think the people who say like our offensive line is the worst offensive line in the league are kind of doing damage control. It's not that bad. It was bad in the playoff game. I'm going to say that. I do think I will admit that, but I don't think Wilson or Schottenheimer did anything to make it better. Stephon Gilmore traded to the football team. Wow. That's quite something. Do you think Witherspoon could be better than Shaq Griffin was last year? I don't think Shaq Griffin was that good, so I guess it's possible. And this kind of stuff happens all the time at cornerback, man. You have players who look great in one context, but they wouldn't look good in any other context. Maybe Witherspoon ends up being the kind of player who's only good in the context of playing for the Seahawks. Like Byron Maxwell looked great here, and then he went to the Eagles and Dolphins, and he couldn't even hack it, really. So, yeah, Witherspoon could be better than Shaq. I think that if he is, it'll be contextual. It'll be the sort of thing where he looks like he's better than Shaq because he's taking advantage of the situations a little bit better and the pass rush is better. I mean, hey, Brendan Nelson's haircut, welcome. Like, a big reason why Shaq wasn't very good last year was the pass rush was atrocious in the first half of the season, but I still don't think he played great. Let's see here. I think he's got the wrong Washington. Oh, okay. Somebody was trolling. Yeah, today... Yeah, okay. Wilson's not getting traded. That is over. Okay? Talking about it at this point... I mean, the word passable kind of implies that it's good enough, is the thing. Yeah, we had holes on the offensive line, but everybody has holes on the offensive line. Certain teams do a better job of masking it, and we didn't because we kept having everybody run go routes. I do not want Richard Sherman back. I do not want Richard Sherman back. Sam Vith, because he sucks. And him looking good for a few games does not change the fact that he sucks. I don't want players who suck. I want players who are good. I mean, no team is going to have an offensive line of all pros. That doesn't happen. You have to mask your insufficiencies. And I don't think we did a good job of that. Carroll and Shoddy. Isn't Villanova really old? I'm not down with that. Yeah, I know we were interested in John Ross, but he got more than the veteran minimum, so screw off. No, I don't want Gilmore. Gilmore is a man corner. We play zone. If we sign Fournette, that'll be a very compelling sign to me that we don't get it. We just don't get it yet. Well, Chrissy, here's the thing. I am not a fan of the players. I'm not a Richard Sherman fan. I am not an Earl Thomas fan. I'm not a John Brown fan. I am not a Sean Locklear fan. I am not a Russell Wilson fan. I am not a Seneca Wallace fan. I'm a fan of the team, and I want what is best for this team, and Sherman would not be good for this team. Well, no, if he produces, I'm not going to be mad about it, but that's not where our assets need to go right now. Adoree Jackson's kind of interesting, Mike Smith. I would take Marlon Mack for that kind of deal, possibly, I think. I think DJ Reed's our kick returner. I like Turtles, and I think he's pretty decent at it. I'm a little disappointed that Jamal Williams went to the Lions. It was a little more money than I wanted to give him, but it wasn't critically more. I would have been okay with doing that. Okay? That's the thing with KJ Wright that really gets me. I am not a fan. You know, I like KJ a lot. He was a great player for us for a decade, but we cannot afford to be fans of KJ Wright. We have to be fans of this team. And there is not a single player on this team that we can put above the team. Ryguy, thank you for the $5. I hate Sherman simply for signing with our arch rival. That alone should boil your blood, and Sherm hates us. I mean, I would be willing to move past that if I thought he still had something left in the tank, but I don't. I mean, 2 of his 3 years in Frisco, he had major basically season-ending injuries. Or season-crippling injuries, I guess would be the right way to put it. So, can't we do a little bit better? Can we stop making every decision we make around getting the band back together? Can we get something new? I don't know, guys. It just... I look at this kind of stuff, and it really just makes me feel like way too many Seahawks fans are fans of the players. Brent, it's dicey, but we're going to try. Brendan Nelson's haircut, thank you for the $5. I'm so pissed Jason Verrett was signed for so cheap, but I like the Witherspoon signing. Yeah, I mean, there's no indication that... My thing is, there's no indication Verrett was available. Verrett might have never really entertained leaving the Niners as long as they would give him a decent option. Yeah. I would guess Rodney Hudson is like 3 years, $24 million, but there's a lot of wiggle room, guys. What if in a couple of weeks nobody has signed Rodney Hudson? He's like, oh crap, I got to sign me a 1-year deal just so I can get somebody. He might sign for 1 year, $8 million. Like, you know, I understood when we re-signed Sherman in 2019. In 2019, we re-signed Lynch, and it was fine. Because we were desperate, we needed somebody who knew the players well enough right then, right that second. So we got Lynch. And it was fine, I understood. We were in a really bad spot, but we're not in that spot anymore, guys. We're not in that spot. Let's actually get something desirable. Not Lynch, who I think averaged, 2 yards a carry with us when he was there? I can't remember. Brashad Breeland could have been signed for the amount Witherspoon got. I don't know if I agree with that, Andrew. I think he's going to be a little more expensive than that. Hey, JS. I mean, yeah, you can be grateful and appreciative of these guys who help us win a Super Bowl. Yeah, JS, the PC is built except for the graphics card because that's not here yet. It's going to get here supposedly on Friday. Friday, we are going to get the card. I'm going to throw it in with another M.2. And then hopefully Friday night, maybe Saturday morning, it'll be up and running and ready to go. And I'll be able to create good content again. Austin Ryder, 3 years, $27 million. Not a bad idea, Sam Vith. That's pretty good. No, I mean, I like William Jackson a lot, but I don't think we could have afforded that. And again, I want to be very clear about this. We have Pete Carroll. Tell Pete Carroll, make it work. Give Pete Carroll some cheap, talented pieces with some potential that fit his mold, and then tell him to figure it out. That's his job. He makes a lot of money. Tell him to go earn it. Earn it by grooming these cornerbacks. That's what he's done his whole career. Let him do it again. I find that I get attached to the players, especially Wilson, but I still see when to look at for the team's benefits. Yeah, Ethan, there's nothing wrong with being affectionate towards these players and appreciating what they did, but I see so many people who put the players ahead of the team. They like the players so much they can't see the team. Like, I never at any point this offseason said Wilson is the greatest thing ever. We can't trade him because we owe him because he won us a Super Bowl. I didn't believe that at all. Austin, thank you for the $5. If Brooks isn't good enough, then Pete and John need to be questioned for wasting 3 linebackers that we drafted. That's what I'm saying. We need to find out if these guys are good. And then if they're not good, we get rid of the people who brought them in. And if they are good, then good. We have a good player. Witherspoon is a dog. Great pickup. Plays with a chip and swag. I kind of like him too. I'll give him a chance for sure. Chrissy Whalen says, Ryder is my least favorite of the 4 centers. He's the least productive and will cost the most. Isn't Karras probably a little less productive? Yeah, I agree with you, Haircut. It does suck that KJ is going to go somewhere else, but, you know, we kind of sort of signed our fate away on that front when we drafted Jordan Brooks. Is Ahkello a man or a zone corner? I'm getting conflicting messages about Ahkello being man or zone. On the one hand, he was in Frisco, so he should have been zone, but a lot of people are saying he's playing man, so I don't know. Who should we get for defensive line? I just want to bring Dunlap back and run it back in that regard. I think if you want to bring back the past, let it be somebody like Dunlap. Oh, he can't run block for shit? Okay, Michael. Okay, that's fair. That's feasible. Should the Seahawks sign Rodney Hudson? Yes. Agree. Too many fans of players more than they are of team. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's see here. Did you hear the news that Carroll stepped in and stopped Snyder from answering any Wilson trade calls? I have not heard that. That's interesting if true. Malik Hooker or Kerry Hyder? Isn't Malik Hooker a safety? We don't need another safety. Hey, Captain Rex. Yeah, interesting stuff happening. KJ is not yet gone, but I don't think he's coming back. Yeah, I'll say this. I wanted to sign Dunbar. I think Witherspoon is going to be cheaper than Dunbar would have been. So if we replaced Dunbar with Witherspoon, then we saved money, and that's pretty good. Blythe is the guy at center for us, knows the system and OL calls already. He's a great run blocker, and the best way to protect Wilson is to reestablish a powerful running game. Blythe is a decent option for me. I would be on board with that. If we get Blythe, I would kind of prefer to get like Gabe Jackson because I want to have some studs up there. I want to have, Dwayne Brown's a stud, Damian Lewis is a stud, Gabe Jackson's a stud, and then you can get by with other guys who are just decent. Honestly, if you're only a fan of the player, wouldn't you not care too much about where they went? Well, no. It's more like... It's more like a thing where they think they're a fan of the team, but they're really a fan of the player. It's like, I think the greatest example of this was the Cowboys in 2011, 2012, 2013. They had Tony Romo, and he was playing great football. He was doing really well. He was very successful for them, but the team went 8-8 3 years in a row, and the smart Cowboys fans, like, say, Shango, were on YouTube saying we need to trade Romo because, look, either Romo isn't as good as we think, or Romo is as good as we think, but our team sucks so bad it doesn't matter. So, basically, we need to trade him because one way or the other, this is not working. And I'm not a Romo fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. I want what is best for this team. And all these fans were like, no, we can't trade Romo. He's so good. I like him so much. Da, 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 da. And they couldn't see the fact that they were just wasting his career and wasting their time because either the team was that bad or Romo wasn't as good as they thought. Gus Edwards, I think, already got tendered by the Ravens. He's off the table. What do you think Dunlap were signed for? I said 3 years, 30. How do I feel about Michael Brockers leaving LA? It's good news, I suppose. Chrissy, I might keep the stream going a little bit longer. Yeah, I don't have anything going on tonight, so I decided to keep it a little longer. And people started sending me money, so I felt obligated to keep the stream going for a little while longer because, a entertainer serves his viewers. Jojo, he had like 5 in 7 games or something like that. Think we keep Lockett now? I don't want to, but I think we will. If I had to guess, I would say yes, but I'm still holding out hope. Should we try to target Marlon Mack? I would be okay with that. I would be okay with that as long as it's cheap. Let me see the price tag, and I'll be potentially interested. Yeah, I'm not interested in Fournette, guys. That is just so boring to me, and it really just does nothing but tell me that Carroll doesn't get it still. Is Wyatt Davis going to fall to us? I think so. E-Man, I don't know if we can get that much. No. What about that Prez extension? Don't worry about the extension right now. The extension will happen when it happens. He's still under contract for another year, so, there's no huge rush. Brent, thank you for the $5. Appreciate it, brother. You're always in here, my man. Appreciate the support. And again, guys, don't worry too much about the money. Worry about it a little bit. But just understand, we can create more cap space if we need to. You always can. There's always more money in the banana stand. 2 Drip 2 Fly, I already answered your question. Yes, we should target Rodney Hudson all day, any day. All day, every day. What are the chances we sign Rodney Hudson? I don't know. It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? It just makes sense. But the thing is, there are other centers that I like too. So I don't want to marry myself to one guy when I know that nothing but pain and disappointment lays down that path. Casey Hayward, I don't think he's really on the table now. Like, our cornerback, outside cornerback next year. Let's say Witherspoon and Reed start. And we know Reed is good. We know Witherspoon at least has some talent. Backing them up, Trey Flowers, Ryan Neal, both those guys have been good in the past. And then hopefully some rookie is 5th string. I don't know. If the pass rush is good, I think you can work with that. I think that's pretty decent. I will stream during the draft day some Panda. I don't think keeping Dunbar is a necessity now that we got Witherspoon, but I'm okay with Dunbar. Brent, because they needed to save money. They needed every team is strapped for money right now because the cap went down. They had to try to save a little bit of money. Yeah, if Wyatt Davis is on the board and we don't take him, maybe Wyatt Davis got caught smoking a bong right before the draft or something like the Laramie Tunsil. But short of that, actually, even if that happens, like, who cares? Okay, I'm going to keep the stream going for another maybe 15 to 20 minutes, guys. And then I'm going to go. I'm tired. Do you think we could get Reddick from AZ? That's not a bad idea if Dunlap falls through. UE2K, we can't be cheap forever. How can you see what Wilson did this whole offseason and just be like Mr. Magoo going, no, there's nothing to see here. No, everything's normal. Everything's the same. No need for us to bend the way we do business at all. Alden Smith is interesting, Sambith. I will give you that. Alden Smith, we need to take a look at that for sure. I don't know, Brent. The Unger trade has never really made me mad. I have to be honest here. Ryguy, thank you for the $2. I saw two guys smoking crack in Portland Skid Row. Well, I mean, if you go there, you have to expect to see stuff like that. One time I found my dad's bong in the workout room. This was like a long, long time ago. And I thought it was a pencil holder. Yeah, Wyatt Davis is the top guard prospect. Is he? I thought there was somebody else who was higher. Hold on. Hold on here. I think there's somebody else that I've seen ranked higher. Give me a second. Give me a second. I have Elijah Vera Tucker as the top guard prospect. There are a ton of running back options, troops. We just have to find one that's good and cheap. You know, Matt Breida would be okay. Marlon Mack would be okay. Again, depending on price. Everything depends on price, guys. You know, one thing is, people keep asking me, like, what do you think about signing this guy? What do you think about signing that guy? And I always kind of say, like, well, it depends on the price because, look, everything's contextual, right? Like, there's a big difference between signing Fournette for $8 million a year and signing him for $1.5 million a year. Yeah. Maybe Captain Rex. Vera Tucker's a tackle. That's interesting. The Draft Network has him listed as a guard. Huh. Okay. Vera Tucker. Let me check this here real quick. Let me check their scouting report. Okay, he played left tackle in college, but the Draft Network, for whatever it's worth, thinks he's going to be a better guard in the NFL. Kyle, I kind of already talked. I mean, I've spent basically all day talking about it. I think the Ford signing is really good, and the Spoon signing is the right idea. Go watch the video I posted before this stream, and I go over it in a little more detail why I think that. But that's basically the long and short of it. I think Kenyon Drake's going to be too expensive, Reloaded fan. Mitchell Schwartz. Depends on the price. I'm at least willing to look at him, but I don't have a big problem with Shell. I think Shell is pretty much fine. And I want to improve at center and left guard more. How much money we got left now? Technically probably like $10 million, but it doesn't matter, Seahawks Gaming. It doesn't matter. We can create more cap space if we need to. Logan McSwain, thank you for the $2. Brockers from the Rams got traded to the Lions. Yeah. So their pass rushers now are Leonard Floyd, Aaron Donald, and those are really their two big guys, right? Do you think Spoon, Reed, and Amadi can be starters with Trey as a backup? No. Well, yes. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's not a matter of who's the best guard in the draft. It's only important which is the best one available from where we pick. That's left guard Aaron Banks from Notre Dame. Yeah, Aaron Banks is somebody else on my radar. I feel like you could get him in the 3rd round. Maybe even the 4th, if you're lucky. Who cares about Poona Ford? He's a decent player, but not dominant. But you do need players like that, and Poona Ford's a pretty good version of one. The Chiefs didn't get Trent Williams, so I don't know why you're asking that question, Nick. Yeah, there are a lot of guards I like in this draft, by the way. Wyatt Davis, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, Aaron Banks, Ben Cleveland, David Moore, Tommy Kramer, Deontay Brown. There are a lot of guys we could get, and I would be like, I see positive things in that dude's future here. We don't need to bring back Dunbar Zach. It might not be a bad idea. Would you be more okay with bringing back Carson if we restructure Russ? No. No, I don't think he fits the offense. I just don't. Ryan, I think we'll probably do something tomorrow. How long until you realize the bong wasn't a pencil holder? Not very long. It didn't take very long. Looking back on it now, I can certainly see that it was. Is KJ re-signing? It's on the table. I'm hoping he doesn't. Yeah, Keith Taylor Jr. is an interesting corner prospect in the 4th. My only issue is that he has 0 interceptions in 4 years. That's kind of a problem. I don't want to play Ugo outside. I want to play him inside, to me. What if we get Najee Harris? Najee Harris is not going to fall to our pick. So, yeah, you may as well ask what happens if we draft Trevor Lawrence. That's not going to happen. Well, yeah, exactly, Kyle. That's exactly what it is. We drafted Brooks. We need to let Brooks play more. We do need to think about who will fill in when our tackles get hurt and miss games this year. Alaric Jackson. Yeah, I've been thinking about Alaric Jackson a lot lately, Yui. My concern, this is something that Hawks Nest talked about, is that guys from Iowa on the offensive line tend to be kind of physically limited, so they don't really improve when they get to the NFL. They're kind of come out of the box that way, and they are what they are. But maybe that's good enough. Should we try to get Rodney Hudson? Absolutely. I think Reed, Nick Reeder, Reed is probably too short to play outside. But the thing is, he played outside last year and he did good. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's very Pete Carroll of us to look at a guy who's doing well and being like, no, you're too short. That's like, the Hunchback in 300, he wanted to join the Spartans, but they didn't let him because his posture wasn't good enough or whatever. Gus Edwards got tendered, I think, Ayaan. Should we trade Bobby? I don't think that's on the table, Captain Rex. I would kind of want to, but I kind of don't want to. It would be expensive. I don't know. I don't know about the Bobby thing yet. I don't know, man. And it's not going to happen, so whatever. And yeah, that's the other thing. He doesn't have very much trade value. I think you could get a 4th rounder, maybe. What do you think Hudson will cost? Like 3 years, $24 million? I think you're better off keeping Bobby, letting him play out the season, and then cutting him next year. Yeah, Zach, he is overpaid. I would love to get Asante Samuel Jr. and move him to free safety. Well, we don't need another nickel corner, and we don't need another safety, so I'm going to have to decline that one for the moment. Would Seahawks trade Russell Wilson for Kirk Cousins? Jesus. These mofos I get in here sometimes, man. It's getting too late. YouTube After Dark is starting to settle in on us. Yeah, I agree with Kyle. Maybe you could trade Wagner and then re-sign KJ, but I don't want to do that. Yes, Danny, I think Penny will fit the system. My concern with Penny is, can he stay healthy? Yeah, extending Bobby is not something I want any part of, Chrissy. I'm going to say that. Okay, 10 more minutes left in the stream. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. Again, chat is moving very fast, so I'm just answering what I can. And yeah, do we have enough money to get Rodney Hudson? Yeah, absolutely. I miss the days when Brino Yakamimi would pancake a guy 20 yards down the field. I think we're starting to head back in that direction slowly but surely. Good afternoon. Hey, Zonkeen, what's up, man? I mean, what do you expect from a 5th or 6th round OT? But he took Bucks rookie OT LT position and they moved him to RT. Yeah, Alaric Jackson's not a bad idea. I don't like AJ Boye, and I don't think there's any way the price will be right. He's a veteran. Those guys get overpaid quite often. Kyle, are your speakers not working, dude? I've answered that question like twice. Actually, total in this stream, I probably answered it 10 times. I'm guessing like 3 years, $24 million. Yes, Ayaan. Marvin Jones got less money than I thought. He got less money than I thought. I would have considered trading Lockett and getting Marvin Jones. What if we sign Clowney for cheap? You better be very, very cheap. Then I'll think about it. When's the next live stream? Tomorrow at 12:30, right before free agency opens. I'm going to be streaming all day for free agency, or most of the day anyway. If Diggs gets dealt, grab Malik Hooker, super cheap. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad. What's up, man? I like the Witherspoon signing. I think it's fine. I think it's interesting. What about Kevin King? Not really feeling it. I feel like we're done at corner. We just need to draft somebody and we're good. I want to draft a corner and then we're good. I don't think Bobby's tackling is the problem. It's the fact that he has to tackle so much because he can't deny runs and passes as well. Well, I mean, whatever it is, he's not the same player that he was. No Kawizzi beats, not based off anything I've seen. Cut Jerron Reed and draft a DT in the 4th, sign a center, Andrews or Hudson, draft left guard with the first pick, see what Sherman's saying. I mean, that's not bad, Danny. I don't like the Sherman part, but other than that, you could sign me up for that, and that's not bad. Yeah, Marvin Jones must not have had a market out there at all. Okay, Green Earth, that's cool. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of action tomorrow. Clowney not signing cheap anywhere. Oh, who's going to give him money? Who's going to give Clowney money? He had 0 sacks last year, didn't he? When do you think Seattle will make a move at lineman? Right now, it's a buyer's market, so whenever that changes. I would not be willing to pay big for a center until the number of good centers in free agency dwindles. Right now, we can get these guys to bid against each other. Ghost, because they remember the good days. Our main target in free agency, probably Dunlap, might be a center. Okay, guys, streaming for another 2 minutes. 2 more minutes. Last chance. Quentin Dunbar and Witherspoon look and play the same. Still want Dunbar back. I can go either way on Dunbar at this point. I think Witherspoon can hopefully give us some of that stuff. I got asynchronous tomorrow. I could join on the stream, but I'm playing football. Okay. Well, I'm not really going to be in a very good setup to have people on the stream anyway, so I don't know how well that would work. Yeah, I'm on my laptop in my storage room, basically. It's not ideal. So I don't know if I'm going to let people on the stream much tomorrow, but we'll try. We can give it a shot. I like Aldon Smith for 1 year. I kind of do too. I like Turtles. That's at least interesting to think about. Yes, I like Rodney Hudson very much. I'll say this for Bobby. The best I can say for Bobby is he played very well in the playoff game. Yeah, I saw that, Julian. Hopefully that means something, man. All right. 1 minute left, guys. 1 minute. 1 minute, and then I will see you guys tomorrow at 12:30 my time, and we'll get this show on the road. Well, you week 2K, maybe there's some truth to that, but it depends on what he's asking for. What if Hudson is looking for like $15 million a year? What if Hudson wants some absurdly giant contract? Then you have to wait it out. Right now, a lot of these guys are probably asking for a ton of money. And we don't have a ton of money, or even if we did, we wouldn't want to spend it if we don't have to. So while we have the leverage of a buyer's market, let's not rush into anything. That's kind of how I'm taking this right now. Okay, guys. We went for an hour 30. We did well. Thank you, everybody. Hopefully, things go well tomorrow. Hopefully, everybody's happy tomorrow. I know that won't be the case, but we'll take our shots, and stream tomorrow starts at 12:30. Free agency opens at 1 o'clock. So I will be here to cover it. Please come in the stream and hang out, and we'll have fun together. All right.